Okay, let's extend or enhance our entity a little bit here because we've got a date of birth property, but rather than display the date of birth in the client, I'd prefer to display the age of that user. And we need to effectively calculate the age of the user from the date of birth. Now, there's no utility in C# that we can use to do that, so we need to create this kind of thing ourselves. And we'll do this as an extension method so that when we do use this date of birth, we can say date of birth period, calculate age, and execute that function to give us the age. Now, we've created extension methods before, and we'll create another one. And we're going to right click and say add new file, and we'll create a class, and we'll just call this DateTime extensions, just in case we need to add something else related to DateTime later on. So an extension method needs to be inside a static class, and we're going to say public static, and we're going to return an int for this, for the age, and just call it calculate age. And because we're extending a date property, and in fact specifically we're extending the date only class, then we say this date only, and we're going to call it DOB for date of birth. So the first thing we need to do is get today's date. So I'm going to say var today equals dates only, and then we need to get from DateTime, and then we can pass this DateTime dot now. And then we can work out the age, and we can say var age equals today dot year minus DOB dot year. But this doesn't account for the fact they might have had their birthday already this year, or are yet to have their birthday this year. So we need to do a bit more, and we're going to say if the DOB is greater than today and adds years minus age, then we're going to say age minus minus because they have not yet had their birthday this year. So we're not going to give them an extra year. Now this is quite a simple calculation to work out their age, and it's not going to accommodate leap years or any other time fluctuations that you can think of. Then it gets a lot more complicated, and for our type of application, we're going to go for the simple option. So I'm going to return the age, and if it does happen to be a leap year, once every 4 years, then yes, for one day, that user might have an incorrect age associated with their user account. And like I say, not something we're going to concern ourselves with. We want to get an age, and it's 99.9% correct, I would suggest. So how are we going to use this? Well, let's go to our app user. And one of the things that we're going to introduce is a way of mapping this into another object, a DTO, that we can return. Because we're not going to return our users with password hashes and password salts. And we'd certainly like to return the age rather than the date of birth. But one of the things that we can add inside our entity class is we can also add methods inside here. So I'm going to say public int get age, and the naming of this is actually important for what we're doing. It has to have the word get in front of the word age, and I'll explain why a bit later, but for now we're just going to use this as it is. And I'll explain why that's important as we come onto it, but for now please just use get age. And then we're going to return the date of birth and calculate age. And no doubt I've done it again and not updated the namespace. So I'm going to update the namespace to API extensions, go back to the app user, and then just add the using statement for API extensions. So we can't test this functionality yet, but we will do as we progress further into this section. Now next up, we're going to take a look at entity framework relationships, because we have in our entity a relationship with another entity, and we'll take a look at that next.